This is Taiwanica. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we want to share with you our mission.
我们是台湾尼卡，很感谢你今天的收听。我们要来分享台湾尼卡的宗旨。Our mission is, of course, to be able to help people who are interested in understanding more about Taiwan and the USA.
But it's not just that. Both Anita and I know how hard it is as a Taiwanese and as a foreigner to make friends with one another. There's a lot of hesitation in the air because of cultural differences, despite the fact that we know a lot of foreigners who wish to meet Taiwanese people and vice versa.
So, we at Taiwanica want to be the bridge to bring some commonality and give you some ideas and knowledge to make the next time these groups of people to meet a whole lot easier and fun.
我们的宗旨最主要是帮助对台美文化有兴趣的听众更了解文化差别有趣的地方。
但不止哦，我身为台湾人 and Eric 身为美国人，我们都知道要跨越种族彼此认识，甚至是当朋友不是那么简单。虽然我们认识很多想要认识外国人的台湾人，反之亦然，但是文化上的差异让他们却步。
台湾那个希望可以是那座跨越文化隔阂的桥梁，提供一些方法跟点子，让这两个族群互相遇到的时候能更轻松有趣的交流。
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to start your own podcast? Well, it really is easy these days, and it's all thanks to a place called Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's by Spotify, and it's the easiest way to make a podcast, with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain a little bit more in detail. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You literally just log in and press a button on your phone, and you can record. And if the sound is good enough, hey, you have yourself an episode that you can share with your friends and your fans. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. There's so many places for people to listen to you. It's pretty convenient. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. It's easy to use, it's easy to access, and take it from me and Taiwanica. We were able to launch this with an ease of a button. So if you are interested in doing this as well, I recommend you to download the Anchor app or go to Anchor's website. That is anchor.fm. That is ANCHOR.FM. And you can go there to get started.
This is episode 3, talking about renting apartments and houses. Welcome to Taiwanica. I'm Eric, here today to talk to you about renting with Anita.
Hi guys.
Hey Anita, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Good.
You loving this foggy weather?
Not really, but I'm good.
Yeah. It's pretty cold here, right?
Yeah, cold and wet and foggy.
Sounds like Taipei.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
But you're not from there, are you?
No, I'm from Taichung.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
And how's the weather in Taichung?
Oh, hot.
Hot.
Very hot in Taichung.
Oh yes, very hot in Taiwan, in Taichung.
Yes. Yeah, but overall, I think Taichung has the best weather.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What about houses and apartments? Do they have the best?
Do they have the best? It's really hard to tell.
Oh, okay, let's not start a war in Taiwan.
Yeah, we love every places in Taiwan.
Yes. Well, I know there's Unity out there, but
Hey, come on. My mom is from Unity.
I know, that's why I said it. No, Unity, we love you. If you're from Unity, much love. So today we're here to talk to you about the differences between Taiwan and the USA about renting. But in Taiwan, it's not just an apartment or a house. There's so much more. And what's that about?
I mean, it's really, really hard to find a house.
Okay.
The house. And the most common one, I would say, is the studio inside the apartment.
Okay.
Like right now, there are so many new buildings that just built for renting out the houses inside.
Right.
So the layout, even though from the outside it looks like an apartment, but inside they were just basically tiny, small rooms.
Okay.
Cut,
It sounds like you have this from experience.
Yeah, that's the most common type of house you will find if you wanted to rent a house. In Chinese, we say 套房.
Ah, yes. Where you have to share a big apartment with other people.
Yes.
And the only thing that's really yours is your room.
Yeah, basically, just your room. And there's no separation inside of your room. Usually the layout is pretty simple. It's usually a square or a rectangle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So basically you would just have a space, they so-called living room. But basically just a space. And your bed will be just next to it. And there will be closet. That's it. And another room, the only separation in the room that you have is the bathroom.
I see.
Yeah.
So I noticed that those are pretty popular among Taiwanese people. But then sometimes I saw the sign that said Ya Fang. Am I saying it right? Right. Yeah, Ya Fang. And what does that mean?
Like I said, right now they built the apartment. And inside they were separate with the small rooms, right?
Right.
Sometimes they will they will use the shared bathroom. So if you are renting a yapang, meaning you just have your room without the bathroom, you have to go outside of your room to use the bathroom.
That's what it means.
Yes, that's yapang.
So that means one of the very first places we lived together was a yapang.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yes.
Wow. That was a really interesting experience and a culture shock for me because in the United States we do not have. Well, I mean, we do kind of have stuff like that, but it's more
much bigger, right?
Yeah, and we call them shared houses.
Yeah.
Where we get the whole house, not just an apartment, but a whole house. Yeah, and so if you share a bathroom, it's okay because you're friends and you're okay with spending time with each other. But in where we were living, the roommates we had were a little bit not
ideal.
That's a good word. I was gonna say they're very dirty.
Come on.
But that's just my experience with that. Very big culture shock from what I came from.
Definitely.
So.
What about in America?
Well, like I said, there's shared houses. But most people after college, especially, they will find their own apartments. As one of their first places they move in if they want to be quote unquote independent. Mature, yes. They'll find their own apartment or if they're fortunate enough, their own house. And then that's the beginning of adulthood, basically. But then again, in the United States, it's becoming, like Taiwan, very common to live in a place where you share it with people just because the rent is getting more and more expensive in the United States. So I'll give you an example. Most of my friends, they live in either really small studios by themselves or they share a house with 5 other people.
Oh, yeah.
This is the 2 most common things that happen in the United States.
Most of your friends are like that, right?
Yeah. But that's because they kind of have to with their type of jobs that they have. Even if you have a decent job, paying for rent is like paying for 3 times the rent in Taiwan. Right? Which is the next thing I really wanted to talk to you about. I want to talk about Taiwanese's rent price. What's that like? Is it a lot in Taichung?
I mean, for 套房, The price right now is pretty much like around 7 to 8,000
Oh, okay. Like Taiwanese dollars.
Taiwanese dollar for the house is around like 10 10平. Like in Chinese, we will say 10平.
Right. And to give you some clarification, in USA, we don't use 十平. We instead use square foot. And so usually one 十平 is about one ping.
One ping.
One ping. Yeah, sorry. Got to get the ping right.
Yes.
So one ping is about 18 square feet. So, yeah. So it's really hard to measure, but you can pull out your calculator whenever you're looking for a place in the USA.
Right. So what's the price in the USA?
Oh, well, it depends. But usually in the USA, you're looking at, and let me give you an example. To live in a shared house with a few other people, you're looking at your rent being something around $1,000 USD. So about like Taiwan. Yeah. But if you want to live in your own place, maybe have a studio or a 2-bedroom apartment, it's going to double. So around $2,000 just to pay monthly. That's not including all of the other fees. Yeah, but we'll talk more about that later. But right now I want to talk about, like, in Taiwan, what's inside the apartment? Like, what would I expect to see when I'm moving into a place? Like, in the USA, just really quick, you'll see, like, a refrigerator, for example, or an oven. But what about in Taiwan?
Like I mentioned, in those 套房 or even 雅房, the layout is pretty simple. So basically, they are all furnished, meaning you will have a bed.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like very basic. A bed and a sofa sometimes.
Wow.
Depends on how big the house you are looking for. For like when we are renting the house in Taichung, we are looking for like 2 bedrooms.
Right.
You can also find those houses. Not houses, sorry. Those rooms, but you're gonna pay more than just 7,000 and 8,000, like I mentioned before. So they do have those options out there in the market.
But they're just not cheap.
They are not cheap, yeah.
Okay.
But basically, it doesn't matter what type of house that you're renting.
Okay.
They're all furnished.
Wow. So that's like expected in Taiwan is for it to be furnished.
Yeah. If your house is not furnished, usually the rent won't be more than 5,000.
Wow.
A month.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's interesting because in the United States, that is the exact opposite. If it's not empty, people are wondering what's going on. Like, why is there this like 30-year-old couch here? It looks like it's had more children than
my God, don't say that.
Okay. Anyways, they just look really dirty. So most people, if not, nobody would buy a place that has their furniture in there already.
Yeah, what's up with that? You guys just don't like...
I think it's because we're not as clean as Taiwanese people.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And American people are, what's a polite way to say this? Just not predictable. So if you were to like leave furniture in there, maybe the person who lives there would want to sell your furniture.
I see.
And like run with it. You know, there's a lot of crime in the USA. So it's not secure enough to do something like that. I know in Taiwan, like theft is not only little, but also like really hard to do. Right? Like, if you're going to try to sell someone's furniture in an apartment in Taiwan, everyone would know.
Yeah. So, I think there's cultural differences.
Yeah. So, that's definitely an interesting thing. But what about, I noticed this when I was living in Taiwan.
Yeah?
Where are the kitchens? Like, do you guys not cook?
We don't.
What? Like, I would go to someone's, like, your parents' house or, like, your aunt's house, and there would be kitchens there. But what about apartments now? Like, if you want to have a kitchen, it's like... classy or something? Like, what's that about?
You know, like right now, the younger generation, they don't cook.
Yes.
Like, because, you know, night markets are everywhere and...
Hashtag Uber Eats.
And the Uber Eats, yes.
Food Panda.
Everything open till like very, very late, like 9 or 10. So...
Unless you live in Tainan.
you know, and it's just so convenient and so cheap just to buy food outside. So really not many people cook inside of their house. But you mentioned about like my parents' house or my aunt's house because they are a family house. So there's different type. So, like I mentioned, if you are looking for like 2-bedroom, has a living room and the kitchen, yes, there are some houses like this, some apartments like this out there, but you gotta pay more. That's it.
I see. So they do exist. They're just not the common. Okay,
ones,
I see. So that's really interesting because in USA, if it doesn't have a kitchen, there's a problem. Like, you have to have a kitchen. You have to have an oven. If there's no microwave, I ain't renting it, all right? Yeah, and that's another thing. In Taiwan, does microwave exist?
Only in 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. It's just so surprising because when you live in the United States, it's a must use, like, every day.
Because you guys really like microwave food.
Oh, yeah.
You guys depend on that thing.
We do.
Yeah.
We depend on ovens. Anything that has the word oven in it, we depend on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so true. But yes, it's very interesting. And then I want to talk about something that has to do with renting a place, but not actually the apartment. And that is garbage. You know, like this is a big thing in Taiwan, right? Like there's a specific rule in a specific car and a specific song. And so
yes, that car. Everybody's very familiar with that. By the way, that's only in Taiwan. So
what's only in Taiwan?
Consider yourself lucky, like the singing garbage truck.
Yeah, that's true. The garbage truck. The singing garbage truck that is cute and little, but smells so bad. And you're just wondering, like, how much pun has been in this thing. You know, it's just so gross. I've never seen such a dirty car in my life. In the USA, it's not like that at all.
Basically, the first one is you have to wait. I think it's around like 4 or 5 p.m.
Okay.
Like, they will run around the city. Those trucks belongs to government. So government will send out those trucks. And not just the garbage truck, also the recycling truck. They usually come together.
Okay.
And so if you're living in the house, like you're not living in the apartment, you have to wait for those garbage truck to get out. No, sorry. To collect your garbage and throw it into the garbage truck.
Right. You have to, like, wait on the side of the street with your garbage in your hand.
And your recycling and your food disposal, which is pun.
And you stay on the side there and just wait until you have they come and take care of it for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's it's very special because in the United States we don't have to do that. We do have something similar though. Like we have to wait on a specific date to like if it's Monday or Friday, then we put out our stuff. In Taiwan with the garbage truck, it's the same, right?
They're every day.
Is it every day for everyone?
Yeah.
Oh,
if
really?
it's a garbage truck, they will out every day at a set time. Like I said, pretty much like 4 or 5.
Oh, really? I could have sworn that it was certain days of the week in Taiwan that goes on certain streets.
No, they are there every
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. Well, my mistake. But yeah, it's interesting how that happens. In the United States, we have specific days that you have to do. Like, it's, for example, where we live right now, garbage is every Monday through Friday, and then recycling is from every Tuesday to Sunday. So don't put your recycling out on Monday because they'll yell at you. That sort of thing. It's very interesting. I think it would just be good to have it every day like Taiwan then.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, super convenient. But now I want to talk about like how you rent a place in Taiwan. Like it's like the easiest thing in the world. I feel like it's like I want to rent this place.
Okay, you got it.
Okay, thanks. Literally 1, 2, 3. But can you tell our audience more about it?
Basically, you find the house that you wanted to rent, and you go check the house. And if you want to, you can sign the contract immediately.
Okay.
And basically, you have to put down 2 months of the 2 months worth of rent as down payment.
Okay.
And once you sign the contract, you have to pay your first month of rent.
Okay, so like 3 months total.
3 months, yes. If you decided to rent the place, you
Gotcha.
have to prepare like 3 sets of the rent.
Okay, gotcha. And usually, who do you talk to? Do you talk to a landlord, a property manager, a house hunter? What's the most common way in Taiwan to find a place?
We used a website called 591.
Oh,
like
yeah.
591. I think that's the most common one, is trustworthy one.
Oh, okay.
And usually there are 2 different types. You can set up your filter when you're looking for the house. The differences between landlord and the agent is if you find the house was through an agent, when you decide to rent the house, you have to pay half of the rent to the agent as a service fee.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty big fee.
Yeah. So if you're finding a house, it's like 8,000, you have to pay like 4,000 to the agent.
Okay.
So, but for me, it depends on different people.
Sure.
Yeah, for me, I don't want to pay the agent.
So you try to find a landlord.
Yes, because it's really easy for you to find a house.
So you're saying a landlord is easy to find in Taiwan?
Yes.
Okay. So the options aren't just focused on like a house hunter or someone with property management. You can have a landlord.
You can talk to the landlord directly.
That's pretty cool. And I mean, when we lived in Taiwan, almost every place that we lived was with a landlord.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, like not only did we move into a cool place, but almost with almost all of them, not with all of them, but made like a friend too. Like the people are just so nice to the point where we keep in contact with some of them still, which is pretty cool in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like I said, most of the landlords, they are really, really nice. Unless, a couple years ago, there was a news about like it was a really bad landlord. And after
really?
that incident, government has some certain rules for the landlord.
Oh, is that right?
So they cannot violate some certain rules.
I see.
Otherwise, they will get fine or some punishment.
Wow, so they're being more strict.
Yeah, about this situation. So right now, I think you can find like really nice landlords. Most of them are like, feels like your mom or your
Yeah, almost
dad,
everyone
right?
we met was a family.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. I think that the system in Taiwan is very structured and easy to find someone that you can trust.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
In the United States, landlords these days are extremely rare. You almost never find a landlord. Most of the time, it's going to be through a property manager. And if it's through a property manager, then yeah, I mean, it's easy to say you're interested in the place and they'll give you the place. But there's a lot of steps that you have to deal with that is very complicated. Like, for example, my refrigerator breaks, okay? If my refrigerator breaks, I need to like talk about it with the property manager, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, sure, we'll come over and take care of it." A week goes by, and they never come, and you're just like, "What the heck? I have like rotting eggs in my fridge. What am I supposed to do?" But in Taiwan, it's not the case like that at all, right?
In Taiwan, we have a thing called Line. Everyone using
Line.
Line.
Yes.
It's so easy. Right now, it's like a tool. If you have like broken something, just take a picture and send it to the landlord, and landlord can immediately arrange like someone go check for you. Usually within like 1 or 2 days, the things will be fixed.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that's so great. I mean, like, I remember there's this one time when I was in Taiwan and our washing machine broke. And keep in mind, our washing machine was like 20 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And then we told the landlord, and the landlord immediately got us a new one. Like, I think it was in 24 hours.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, she asked me about the size. She asked me to measure how big the
Area.
the area is,
Yeah.
and I tell her, and then she's okay. I already booked it, and she bought it on PC Home.
Yeah.
Every Taiwanese know about PC Home, they will deliver, everything to your house within 24 hours,
It was amazing.
including washing machine.
Yeah, and it was really high tech, and we didn't have to pay a dollar for it. It was so cool.
Yeah.
In the United States, if that were to happen, there's a lot of things that could happen. Like the property manager might ask you if it was your fault it's broken, or they'll come and examine it first. And then they will have to check off a list and make sure that, is it really broken or can I fix it? And then not only that, if they do fix it, they might charge you for it. So there's a lot of things that are just not cool about it. And so that's something you have to be really careful when you move to the United States, is that like if you have a broken thing, make sure it's really broken before you talk to the property manager, because they might charge you for that. Yeah. But that's only one downside about how complicated the USA is.
Just one. There's more.
There's more. So speaking about complications, one other thing that I've noticed that is really hard in USA than Taiwan is, just even getting into the place. We have fees for everything.
Everything.
Right?
What's up with that?
Yeah.
I'm literally mad.
Yeah, you're mad because to give you an idea of what's going on, Anita and I are actually trying to find a place to move right now, and it's been really hard.
Yes, like I mentioned, in Taiwan, we only have down payment, 2 months down payment, and the first month of the rent. If you're looking the house through an agent, you just have to pay half of the rent to the agent. That's it. And if you're having a pet, of course you have to find the apartment or the room that accept pet, and that's it. If they say, oh yeah, we accept either dog or cat, and then you can move in with your dog and pet, or cat, you don't have to pay extra fee.
Right. But in the United States, it's not like that.
Oh my god.
So in the United States, we have a pet fee.
Yeah.
And a pet rent. So we have a pet deposit, usually about $300. And if you want your pet to stay in your apartment or house, you have to pay a pet rent for your little critter. It's usually about $20 to $40 per month. So it's actually pretty big, It's a lot of money just to have the animal there. So keep that in mind if you want to have a pet while you're living in the United States, because they don't come free unless you sneak it in. Not that I advise you to do that.
Which is most case in Taiwan.
Oh, yeah, in Taiwan, I've heard stories. But yeah, don't sneak your animals in. It's not a good idea. Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Not only that we have a pet fee, but we also have an application fee.
Yeah, what's up with that?
So if you want to apply to live in a place, usually we ask you to pay a small fee for the application. So $40 sometimes. It's a lot. And I think we do it is because to make it so if you really are interested in moving there, you pay for this fee. And then it shows that, okay, there's no other competition. You're the one that's going to get the place. Which, I think it's because there's just so many people in USA.
Oh. Wow, okay.
Well, that's just my backup. I don't approve of it.
Right, yeah,
I'm not saying, yay, application fee.
Yeah,
love paying money.
You have to pay a lot of money just to move into a house.
Yes, it's intense.
Sorry, move into an empty house.
Oh, yes. No furniture required.
No.
So there's a lot of things that go into it, not even including moving fees, utility fees, pet fees, application fees, and then you still have the deposit. The one good thing about the United States that's different from Taiwan is that if you move into an apartment specifically, usually there is no down payment, which is nice.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that is a really nice thing. Right, for example, we're living in an apartment right now, and we don't have to have a down payment to live here. But we want to move into a house, then be ready for all of the fees to be included into it. But, Anita's a little stressed.
Yes.
You can hear it with the breathing. It's okay.
I keep on deep breathing.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right.
Everything's going to be fine. So we hope you can give us your love and support while we get into our own place, and we'll let you know how that goes. But, that's basically the situation between the USA and Taiwan, wouldn't you say?
Definitely Taiwan. it's more convenient and easier to just moving from place to place.
Yes, Taiwan definitely is the most convenient. United States does have its one benefit though, and that is it's really big.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you do rent a place, it's like renting two places in Taiwan. It's really nice and how much area you have to walk around to do other things. Like you can even have your own gym in one of these apartments. You know, it's really comfortable if you do move into one of these places.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So there is a benefit to the size, but there is a lot of work. But in the end, I think it will be worth it.
Yeah. I mean, if we are looking for a decent house, I think, well, you know, even though there are a lot of fees, but you only have to pay one time, so I think it's totally worth it.
Absolutely. So that's it for our renting in United States and Taiwan.
Yep.
Anita, do you have any last words to say to our fans?
We are now having an Instagram account.
Yes.
Ta-da-da-da-da.
Called Taiwanica. Easy to
Yeah.
find, easy to follow. So
Easy to like.
yes, with your hearts. Yes. And then please, if you have any friends who are interested in learning more about the differences between Taiwan and the USA, please share our podcast with them. We are now available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and so many more. If you listen to your podcast on other places, feel free to share. We love your support, and be ready to hear about our next topic later this week.
Yeah.
All right, and if you are coming from Amazing Talker to listen to us, we just want to give you a shout out saying we love you.
We love you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye
See
bye
you
for
next
now.
time.
Bye bye.
Bye.